Hey everybody, this is Ranger J 1999 and this is Jedi Academy, the Smithie D show. And we had to do the old switcheroo because Smithie, I guess, was talking to Grande Patron too much and decided that stealing government Wi-Fi was the best route to go. So we're going to be streamed from our channel, the Jedi Academy show. Um, to make sure that we are able to get to your questions and keep the show going. So, Smithy is still working on some technical issues with his computer, but we still got the cast and characters that you know and love, and we will go ahead and introduce those guys now. And first off, we've got Warrior from Team Instinct. What's up, brother?
What's happening?
Pulling stuff out of my third point of contact is what we're doing. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
dude, thanks for being so easygoing and taking this over so we could keep it going, man.
Absolutely. And then, of course, you also have the Lady of the Sith, Miss Darth Bella. Miss Bella, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Awesome, awesome. And then we also have Mike Hunt, who is here.
Good afternoon.
Good morning. Oh, yeah, it's this afternoon there, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That that throws me off every time. It's like
Sorry.
he's like, good afternoon. Like, what do you mean? I'm drinking here up early drinking coffee. Crazy BS. And then we have a new person. I think this is his first time on the show. Mr. Sir Loki is here joining us today.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Glad to have you. And tell us a little bit about
Thank you.
yourself, Mr. Loki, since this being your first time.
Just longtime player. Honored to be here amongst the dream team right here. So anxious to answer a bunch of questions and geek out and talk to everybody. So it's gonna be fun.
Awesome. And of course, this is a live interaction show where we will answer your questions. So if you guys can in chat, if you want to let your friends know that we're over here so we can get everybody over here so we can get everybody's questions answered. We did link in the Jedi Academy chat that we were over here for the show, but just spread the word out and everything, and we'll try to get you your questions. So while we're doing that, and I'm going to be the one trying to monitor the questions and stuff. So while we're getting ready to that, the quality of life changes came out. Everybody's initial thoughts on the quality of life changes. Warrior, we'll start with you. I'll personally say that I think they're fantastic. I'm very, very pleased with them. Let's kind of narrow it down. What do you think was your favorite of the quality of life changes that they did?
Okay, so first you're gonna have to go download the update manually because they're not all coming out until Monday unless you go and manually update.
That is correct.
Yes, and then
Came out.
Sorry.
Oh.
that's all right. That's all right. So anyway, I was just gonna say they're not coming out till Monday unless you manual update. So do a manual update to get them. It's only the first series of quality of life updates. Everybody's like, well, some of what they did's great, some of what they did suck, and there's a lot they needed to do that they didn't do, and they will. I mean, they're taking people's feedback. They're gonna do these in stages. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the first round of a quality of life update, and my favorite of all are the abilities to create, arena, galactic war teams,
Yes.
phase one of AAT,
Let me
whatever,
pull that up.
and have all of those teams below built. It's infinite. But my second favorite, and actually it's tied for my number one favorite, is actually the favorites tab. So everybody I'm farming for shards and everyone that I'm currently gearing. So anyone
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on are physically tagged as favorites. And so now I just go into my favorite, which is the first thing down other than
Mm-hmm.
all in the filter, and I get to see the 5 characters I'm working on right there, and I can see what I need to work on. So I don't have to try and filter through because I'm like a dog. I get distracted easily, and when I'm scrolling down, I see somebody else has a piece of gear that could be fit them, and I'm like, oh, cool, click, and then I'm like, wait, I needed that, dang it,
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the favorites tab easily as much as the new things. But anyway, let's see what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, Bella, what was your favorite quality of life change they made? Was it the one Warrior mentioned, or was there another one that you really like? Hey.
Yeah, I like them all. I think it's a really, really good upgrade what they did. Quality of life. It means life. Many people complained
Yes.
about the length of ship battles, so you can kind of do ship battles much quicker now.
Yeah.
I just think when you click on 4 times, it's a little too fast. I get kind of seasick when I see the guys in arena because they are kind of moving up and down.
Yeah, yeah. That times
But
four
I
speed is a
love
good
the
one.
new tabs like favorite and what Warrior already said. It's really good.
Yeah. And then Sir Loki, what same question to you, my friend.
Well, building on what Bella mentioned about the ships, the speed up of the battle actually helps a lot, especially against the dreaded Mace Windu timeout tank taunting team. So I've been noticing those teams are a little bit easier to take down now, especially with the speed up. Uh, in terms of the items I actually like the. I noticed they have a lot of revised artwork, which is kind of cool. So one of my shardmates commented on Captain Phasma looks a little chromier now. She's a little more shiny. I think all those little added touches are kind of my favorites. It's the stuff that I don't think anybody really talked about, but it's there. So I noticed that stuff. I will say there's the only thing I don't like about it is I had a certain way of clicking buttons really fast, and I noticed some of the animations, kind of the windows that pop up, the sim and the multi sim stuff. So I'll just get used to that, but I'm nitpicking at that point. But
And then
overall, it's good.
yeah.
A
And
lot
then
of people don't even realize they actually fixed 28 existing characters' abilities that were broken. 28 abilities for characters. Actually, there was like 34 abilities, but 28 characters. I mean, two of Admiral Akbar's issues, and I mean, just a ton. And that was all part of this as well. They're trying to fix the old and improve it as well. So a lot of people just didn't realize how many characters got reworked and fixed because they needed that.
yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the ability to stalk your allies now. I don't know if you've any of you have checked your allies page, but it shows you
Stalk your allies.
the
Fantastic.
last
I check
activity.
you, Mike, of course.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm wondering when I do actually sleep at the moment.
Oh my god.
No,
Oh my god. Okay, so I think that they're doing a great job with that stuff. So we'll look for more of that in the future. And let's start getting to some of these questions. First question from Lucas Colossal. With the upcoming Emperor event, what's better for me to start farming, an Empire team or a Sith team? Let's go to Mike on this. I'm going to kind of mix it around and get everybody a chance here. But what do you think of that question, Mike?
You see, I'm going to go Sith just because that's where I am. I've got one to do now, Sith Trooper, and I 11,
Mhm.
and I'm loving them. I also was really stupid, and I have a 7-star Nihilus, so I'm kind of committed.
There's nothing wrong with that. Good lord. There's nothing stupid about that at all. Oh, good lord. And Ms. Bella, what do you think of that question? Did we lose Bella?
just yes, yes. I was
Okay.
just on mute.
Oh,
Yeah, well, since I'm Darth Bella, of course it's the Sith.
good.
Joking,
Good.
but I think yeah.
Okay. And then Mr. Warrior.
Well, if you're free to play, the Empire are most of them are pretty easy to farm, as well as they're some of the easiest to gear. So, if you're looking at trying to get somebody past gear, 8 or 9, it's definitely going to be easier to gear up your Empire past gear 8 or 9 as a free to play player versus the Sith. So, I mean, just from a standpoint of simplicity and ease, especially when you're on a time crunch of, I got 30 days or something. I mean,
Mhm.
I think Empire is just a little bit easier on that standpoint. But as far as fun factor, and playability, I think the Sith right now are tremendous fun, especially because everybody wanted Darth Maul to be good and he never was. And now,
He's
because of
amazing.
his abilities, he is. I mean, he's the first one to go every time on the team. He should be. He's the
Mhm.
fastest, And the days mechanic is truly the mechanic that
Awesome.
will save your bacon against all the other situations that are happening right now in the meta with all the counters and all that kind of stuff. days is it. So yeah, Sith's probably the way I would go if money's not an issue and you have a great guild that's going to get you all the gear you need. But if
Yeah.
you're free to play and maybe in a smaller guild, you might want to focus more on Empire just to be realistic. And an Empire team's needed no matter what.
Yeah. You know,
It's
and
a staple.
yeah, it is. And I was looking at the meta report on our last stream that, the Vader team comp is the Zader is still very viable, and it also is, as you said, very very good for the heroic AAT rate. So, all right, next question. Let me throw this one at Sir Loki. Um, and this is from Danalicious. I hope I'm not butchering your name. I probably will because I have the brain damage. It's documented. Is Nihilus a must-have in your arena team? Because he's saying everybody has him. What do you think of that question, Mr. Loki?
So I'm one of the stupid ones too that has a 7-star Nihilus. So,
Have him 4-star. It's not stupid.
Believe it or not, I got lucky with packs, so I got a lot of 30 pulls. Whether you
I
believe it or
did
not,
not.
I did. So
God.
I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what happened to me. So I went for it. But is Nihilus necessary? So right now, I'm not sure. I think everybody might be aware of the force drain cooldown increase. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but what's happening is if the opponent is not on cooldown, so their ability is active, but you do the force drain on it, it actually bumps it up to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's a bug or not, but based on that, I would say yes, he's awesome because it's basically an ability block for 1 turn.
Yeah.
And you can keep doing it. And if everybody's debuffed and you have his unique, I have his unique Zeta, so he's doing the health down after
Oh.
their turns, and then I'm doing my damage over time when Nihilus takes his turn. So I'm debuffing your whole team if you don't have tenacity up. And then I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
force strain and I'm increasing all your cooldowns. So if they fix the bug, I would still say yeah. I mean, he's kind of like a Sunfac and a Boba Fett put together in my eyes. It's going to take time for him to charge up the Annihilate, but you're going to get the instant kill, and that's kind of like the effect with Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So he's got the ability block, and then you wait for the his execute, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Even at 4-star, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
getting beat by 4-star Nihilus. I got 7 stars, so he's good.
Yep. And then Warrior, anything you want to add to that?
I would say don't use him as a leader. I don't think that in
No.
arena that's the idea. That's definitely not. I would say use him as a passive on your team. He is like Sunfac with the dispelling on the basics, so that alone would make him viable on your side, especially if you can get his speed up there. But then, of course, like he said, putting their cooldowns up 1 does kind of act like an ability block in essence. But he is not the. I mean, he's got actually quite a bit of health and protection for a support character, but everybody I go up against that has them, and by the way, my shard is filled with them too. Those teams I tend to be able to walk through pretty quickly because this is the problem with everything. There's 5 slots, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to decide which slot takes which character, and if you pull a character to put Nihilus in, who have you pulled? And for a lot of the teams, the character they pull was the vital character they needed to beat my team. So when they pull
Mm-hmm.
that character to put him in, while he's in theory really cool, at the end of the day, they're doing it for the Annihilate, thinking that they'll get to use that when in fact the battles are over almost always before that ability goes through. I actually have yet to see Annihilate happen on me when I'm on offense. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So,
You have to run it with the right comp. You just can't put Nihilus in any team and expect it. It has
right.
to be a Sith team, and you have to have a Zeta Maul for that to work really effectively.
Or
Oh, you have another
way I
team.
would do it, and I'm absolutely going to run this, at least try it, is you remember the old Team Instinct timeout teams, the Tito teams, where they had
Mm-hmm.
like General Kenobi lead with Barris,
Yes.
and then fives. Well, you take fives out and you put him in, and then behind you have Chirrut and Baze. So what happens is they either have to try and go for Nihilus, but they can't because every time they hit him, he gets critical hit immunity, and it
Mm-hmm.
goes over to General Kenobi, and Barris heals everybody. It's just like so annoying. So if you want to be able to use Annihilate, you really should have that kind of a timeout team composition. And then he's just going to walk through and kill the most critical person on the other side that you're having issues with.
Right.
And your timeout team is going to keep everybody alive long enough that Annihilate will work. So that timeout team plus take out 5s and put in him, it's devastating. I got a couple people in Team Instinct that run that just can't get beat. Nobody can beat them because it's
Yeah.
just Annihilate
That is
happens
a
like
sick
2 times
team.
in an arena battle. It's the only way that they've found to keep him alive long enough to utilize it.
Yeah. Okay. Next question, and we'll go to Mike, and we'll give Mike and Bella a chance. We'll start with you, Bella. Do you think the Phoenix Squad that is about to be coming out for the Rebels characters will change the meta? And that's from Mystic Enigma.
Of course, I think every new character kind of changes the meta because everyone is going for them.
Mm-hmm.
People really love those characters, and so they will play with them and upgrade them and use them in arena and everywhere.
Very good, Mike. Your thoughts?
Historically, they've kind of launched overpowered new tunes to make everyone want them. So yeah. From the day that Maul became Zul became more than viable, I knew it was short lived. It was destined to be short lived.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. So yeah, no, I'm really expecting Phoenix to switch things around.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I mean, not every character comes in and affects the meta, but from what I've heard and everything, Warrior, we don't know what their abilities are or anything yet, but it would seem logical that if not a few, but all the characters will have some kind of impact on the meta.
Well, of course, because the meta is simply a reflection of what's going on within the game, and just like Bella said. So obviously, the more that people buy them and use them and stuff, the more the meta will shift. But I think, and this is just my opinion, and I hate to put this out there if people are all excited, but I think they're going to be overrated, a little bit like the Empire that just came out.
You talk about Death Trooper and Krennic.
Yeah, everybody's like,
Yeah,
Krennic who? You know what I mean?
yeah. I
And
haven't seen
I
them
didn't
use
even
anywhere.
level up my Krennic.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I
me
barely just got Death Trooper to gear 10, and it's like, why did I do that?
I
You
just did it
know?
for the
So
ship that I'll be using eventually. That's it.
that's exactly why I kept doing it,
Yeah.
for that ship alone.
Yep.
yeah.
But Krennic himself, absolutely not. And
So I think these guys will be kind of like that. I think they're going to come out, they'll be niche, just like Director Krennic was, and I think that they'll be cool and they'll have some viability, just like any team should have viability. But I do think you're going to have all of them, all on a team, all maxed out, and they're probably all going to have Zeta abilities. So you're looking at 100 Zeta pieces plus, 200 Omega mats, and like, you know what I mean? It's like, who's
Mm-hmm.
going to gear up? And their gearing is probably going to be 1400 purple. And
Oh,
I'm just like, I'm not even worried about it.
no.
I'll get them to gear 7 so I can try and unlock their ship, and that'll be about it.
Yeah.
Just so I have their ship. Just so I can say I have it, but I don't even know if I'll use their ship because
Yeah.
that means I'll have to continue with them.
Right, and we don't even know how good the ship is. I mean, I know Mage Ducky is chomping at the bit to see what it's going to do, but as he always says, you don't know what the ship's going to do. You don't know if it's going to even be worth it. So, I think he's really going to take a look at that ship when it comes out and see what its viability is for. So people are not, wasting money on stuff. All right.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. Hey, Smithie's
Yeah,
back. Welcome
let's
back,
reading up on
Hey,
Smithy.
some stuff.
Smithie.
Yeah, man. Who here has Nihilus?
Me.
Me.
Right. Yeah, I've got Nihilus too. Right, and I've just got a question because I've seen there's some other kind of like posts or videos saying that Nihilus's cooldown for his Dream Force is per buff, but I believed it was per enemy dispelled, not per buff on them dispelled. That it reduces the cooldown of Dream Force.
I can read it right now and pull it up.
Yeah, so the reading to it, it says it deals special damage to the target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. If any buffs were dispelled, reduce the cooldown of Dream Force by 1. It doesn't say that per buff dispelled. It just says if any buffs with an S as like plural were dispelled, reduce the cooldown of Dream Force by 1.
Yeah, I remember going up against some of the arena teams I face, and like he'll hit a base or something with a bunch of buffs. It only goes down for 1 for me. So
Yeah, same. It only went down. Only does it for the one where I've gone against Sharut teams.
Nihilus does like Sharut teams, though.
So does B2.
Okay, yeah. For the way I'm reading this is with the 50 chance, it's doubled against debuff teams to increase their
That's Drain
cooldowns.
Force. It's on the basic dispel, the Craven.
Oh, the Craven?
Ceaseless
I'm sorry. I thought
Craven,
you were
yeah.
talking about that one. Sorry. Wrong ability. What is this being so stupid?
I'm just double checking because I said in my video it was only one cooldown that gets reduced if any buffs were dispelled. So just one per. Doesn't matter how many buffs I've got on.
Yeah, it just says reduce the cooldown of Dream Force by 1. It doesn't say. It just says if any buffs were dispelled, it just reduces it by 1. So they could have, I guess, 20 buffs, and it only does it. I guess you get 1 counter to your Drain Force. This is the way I'm interpreting it. Of course, I could be wrong.
That's how I've interpreted it, and that's how it's demonstrated when I've looked at it.
Yeah. All right, so we ready for the next question there, Smithie D?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so KBH asks, how does a Nihilus leadership ability work with a Count Dooku Zeta?
Oh, I've got a lot of experience in this, actually. It wouldn't, or it shouldn't. I haven't tried it, but there's no protection, 1, to regain, okay? 2, it's immune to any other healing effects except for health still. So even if there was a protection regain, and say if they did have the protection regain, the kind of heal immunity that they have on the team, because it's not a health steal, would kind of block it. So it'd make it irrelevant. And that's how it should, I would say, how it should be working as intended. If it doesn't work that way, the best way to have a look would probably be on the mechanics on SWGHGG, on the mechanics of the move to see what regain is it. But because it's a regain, it's kind of like a heal. So he's healing protection every time he hits, where that's not a lifesteal. So that won't work under a Nihilus lead would be my kind of like knowledge on it. What about you? Anybody else?
I posted. I'm sorry, blatant self promotion here, but I uploaded a GW video earlier on today, which became I switched lead. The first battle was with Azul lead. Second battle, I ran Nihilus lead, and my Dooku started the match yellow and ended super green. It became the Dooku show. He's just like a Tommy gun. He's just hitting on counters. I haven't Omega'd or Zata'd. He's not Zuku, he's Dooku. So I've just I've Omega'd his basic and his second, which for the moment eludes me what it's called. And he was awesome. I think I said at the end of the title, it became the Dooku show. I'm actually, I can't believe I'm saying this. I am actually contemplating stripping my General Kenobi of all his mods, boosting my Nihilus to over 200, 216-ish, and trying him out as a lead in Arena. I am seriously
Craziness.
I'd love to see that video.
I can't believe I'm actually contemplating stripping my. I don't run my GK. I'm 5 Sith in Arena.
I think you should do it.
Stunned silence.
Go for it, man. Make a video. I want to see him in action.
That would be cool.
No, that's. You know what? It'll happen this evening. I'll do it.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Just for the theory crafting, if nothing else.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, next question. Does Vlad, I think this is the alpha sign, Greek letter, but I can't really tell. Does anyone have any idea what they're going to do with ally coins? I don't think anybody knows what they're going to do with ally coins other than for a future date, they'll come up with something. That's as far as I know. Does anybody know anything different?
No.
I think we all learned just don't spend them on the bronzomiums, right? Hold on to them. I don't know.
All right.
There's no immediate plans to do anything with them. So unless you're like me and just don't want to spend 4 hours clicking a button, you can spend them and it's no big deal.
Did you see the Lego 750k? Oh, it was fantastic.
All right, next question. Does Nihilus work reducing cooldowns for raid bosses? From Luke Thyrocker.
No, he
I don't think
doesn't.
he did.
Not on the raid bosses. No, he still will get what I do believe. He still does get the increase on his annihilate for it, but it doesn't reduce it.
Okay.
So it's probably a bug, but it doesn't do anything to the raid bosses, from what I've seen.
Not that
I got a video of him running in phase 3. So he doesn't increase the cooldowns of the rocket trooper.
I've seen that vid.
Okay. And let's see here. Make sure you guys are getting your questions in. And then Vlad is wondering if they're going to allow you to swap characters between the two ships to give different abilities. Did I read that right? I wonder if they're going to allow you to swap the characters between the two ships to give different abilities. I'm not sure what that is referring to.
I think maybe
If it's referring
two ships for one pilot, I guess, or something.
Maybe.
Like
or multiple pilots that could be in different ships and swapping them, and that's not going to happen. Whoever's assigned will be assigned forever.
That's it. Yeah, they're just locked to it, aren't they? They'll just bring out a new version character, new version ship, I'd imagine.
Okay. Then Lucas Colossal is saying, "Is this the last Jedi Academy? Really?" I don't think it's the last one, unless I didn't get a memo about something. Smithy, is there something you want to talk about?
No. Still top secret. No, I've got to wipe my computer. They've been popping up as viruses for a long time, and I just haven't clicked remove. I just pressed close. So yeah, today literally turned it on, and literally everything was not responding. It was just like, wow, it's 45 minutes spending there trying to just connect to a voice chat, and it was just not responsive, and it just says crashed, restarted, and yeah, it just carried on from there, and it was pretty much at this stage non-fixable until I literally either wipe my computer or get rid of all them viruses from. I don't even know where they come from, all I do is go on YouTube on the computer. That is it. YouTube
Is that all, Smithy?
Well, I don't use my computer for other stuff. That's what tablets are for. I use tablets mostly or my phone. Or my Xbox, because you can't get viruses on an Xbox.
See, this is what I keep telling you and Grande. When you steal government Wi-Fi, this is what happens.
Yeah, definitely. They put a worm in the system.
Yeah, this is where it goes.
Good old Jurassic Park. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Got the magic word.
All right. So Mystic is saying in Arena, he's running Zader with Palpatine, Sidious, Short Trooper, and Phasma. He wants to replace Phasma with Maul. He's floating around 60 to 100. Is there anything he could change, or any recommendations for that team?
So you've got a Zeta lead. You've got Sidious. You could always just take out Phasma and put in Boba.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. To be honest, that's you could run a TIE Fighter pilot as well. If you don't want to run TIE Fighter pilot, it's probably a little bit better than the old kind of like Palpatine in that sort of team. I wouldn't really run a Palpatine in that team because the whole point of the Zeta team is to try and remove that term eater, apply as many dots as possible because the dots do stick. The Shore Trooper can take the beating for a little bit, so you need to really set it up so you come to turn 2, turn 3, have a Boba Fett in there, so you've got two characters that can then execute and do the Colin Blade, and that's really where you want to get your benefit. You don't need Phasma in there, even though it's nice to get some crits and stuff, but you could just put more crit chance on Darth Vader, for example. He's still going to hit hard as long as the dots are on there, and the dots are going to keep coming back.
You could also put Maul in there for Sidious, because Sidious is awesome, but Darth Maul's days is even better.
Yeah.
Because he wants to run Darth Maul, so if he was going to do that
Replace him with
regardless,
Phasma, yeah.
put him in the place of Sidious and put Boba Fett in the place of Captain Phasma.
Cool. Keep your questions coming in, guys. I know this kind of we had to do the old switcheroo here. So I'm waiting for more questions to come in. So we don't really have any questions at the moment. So
That's like a miracle. That's the first
I
time
know.
ever.
Well, that's
Normally we can't get through one.
I know. Okay, here's one from KBH. Which squad is better for Phase 2 and Phase 4 AAT Heroic? Clones with Cody lead Zeta or Resistance Finn lead Zeta?
What for Phase 2?
Phase 2 or Phase 4? Which squad is better for Phase 2 and Phase 4 for AAT Heroic? Clones the Cody lead Zeta or Resistance team or Finn lead Zeta? Which of those two Zeta teams would be better for each phase, Phase 2 and Phase 4?
Clones pretty much rock it, to be honest. If you've got Princess Leia in there, you can do some high scores in both phases. I think Resistance is more Phase 2. I don't think they really have a place in Phase 4 unless you're going to swap out one of the characters and put someone that's going to be able to put some buffs on your team. But yeah, I would use Phase 2. I would use Resistance for Phase 2, Clones for Phase 4. Resistance pretty decent. You could even put Sidious in there. That's what I would probably do, is put Sidious in there, get him to go first, use his AoE attack, go for that expose, and then just start dropping them. That's it, and that's what Sidious will be there for, to apply multi kind of like expose. That's how I'd run it. I wouldn't run Resistance Pilot, even though she gets stealth and she can do expose. I just feel that a Zeta Darth Sidious fits that squad much better for the AAT.
Anybody else have inside thoughts?
I was gonna say Princess Zodi for 4. It's just a match made in heaven.
All right. And then Finn the Troll. If you guys don't know, Finity is from the RSG. And he has a question. He's like, how much of my tax refund should I spend on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Who really wants to destroy Finn on this question?
150%.
Go
All
into
of it.
debt.
All of it.
Spend all of it and then some more of your savings.
Yeah.
Put it all into savings. Put it all into savings. You'll thank me later.
Yeah, see.
Or you could buy shirts. Buy shirts for the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Beast the game with a 7-star cup.
Well, let's
Change
not get.
the meta.
Yeah, let's not get crazy. Oh Lord, good old Finn. Enrique wants to know, who do I use in a Zal team? Emperor Palpatine or Sidious? Loki, you haven't spoken in a while. What do you think?
I think if you got the Zeta Darth Sidious, I would choose him over Palpatine, but that's just me because I run him. So I like the expose, I like the dots, and then if you kill the other team, then he takes a bunch of turns. So I like that.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any argument. It's Sidious, and as far as I'm concerned, anybody else?
No,
I'd say
Emperor
depends.
Palpatine.
Depends who you face. You switch them round.
True. Good
Unless
point.
you
It
run
depends
a
if you've got Nihilus. If you haven't got Nihilus, then
Yeah.
I would go Emperor Palpatine. I wouldn't go Sidious. I use Sidious currently, but Sith Assassin's probably going to be the best option to just boost your team at the beginning to get Maul to go first. And you won't really need Sidious or Palpatine
Okay.
if you can do that.
All right.
Emperor Palpatine is a better decision.
What if they are running Nihilus though?
Emperor Palpatine is a better decision.
Okay.
This is why. Your teams that you're going to face, a lot of them are going to be resistant to all the characters. That's the teams that people are building. They're resistant. They've got the stealth mechanisms, or they have the buffing mechanisms like Chirrut and Baze. They've got all these different things they've built in. One, you cannot get past the 5 potential person stun. That is a game changer in Arena. 2, he just on his basic will put in an immunity on their head. There's with shock that will prevent them from those additional turn meter and health gain and things like that. So it's similar to the days in a sense. And so when you can get in what I am finding is you have to have ability block, you have to have buff immunity, you have to have days. Like if you have all three of those mechanics, you will win guaranteed. Guaranteed you'll win. Those three things. But if you lack one of those three things, you'll get caught up in a shore trooper and you'll be stuck there for like 2 rounds. So you've got to be able to have those. And it's nice, and he exposes and he does dots. If you're not running Darth Vader, those exposes and dots are almost meaningless in comparison to being able to put shock over Chirrut's head. Because dots over Chirrut's head means nothing. Expose over Chirrut's head means nothing. It really doesn't. You know what I mean? So when you're facing any of those kinds of teams where there's buffing, or any of those kinds of teams where those type of tanks, it will help you chew through those tanks faster. But being able to do a shock over their head or stun them and take a whole nother turn, a whole nother round before the other team, I think is critically important in arena, more so than the expose.
See, yeah, I don't know about that, because I'd probably slightly disagree on that one, definitely, because I've also got a Sidious that I run, and I run a Darth Nihilus, a Kylo Ren. So Kylo Ren's my stunner. He'll just like stun, 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 stun. But the healing immunity that he provides, Kylo Ren on his basic, Darth Sidious on his basic, eats Rogue One teams. They can't heal. So all that heal that they get above the head, one little debuff that I put on them from a basic, and it pretty much lands 100%. I haven't actually seen it yet get resisted from Darth Sidious, but he'll apply it and they'll stop healing. And then Kylo Ren will just do his AoE.
But that's 2 characters where Emperor Palpatine's 1 character. He takes 1 slot on your team.
He's squishy though, isn't he? That's the issue these days.
Yeah, but that's why you have a team comp where you build it to where you can protect those squishy characters. Plus, the stealth mechanism, if you have Darth Maul as your lead, would help as well.
And a cleansing from Savage.
Or a General Kenobi, so he gets critical hit immunity, and then he's your auto taunt.
Okay.
I don't know. I've just never had a problem against any team with Palpatine in there, because I've just got currently 4 characters that can AoE, so he's dead.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the only thing I would say is you have a number of characters that are doing the same function, so you're using multiple characters, and that's smart, because if one dies, you can still apply it. Where if I lose Emperor Palpatine, I lose my shock. However, you're having to use a couple of characters to keep that consistency alive. So I don't know. It's a give and take, I guess. You got to give something to get something. So no doubt the team you run is a phenomenal team. But mentioning Kylo, what if you only had Kylo? Or what if you only had Darth Sidious? Would it be as effective?
On their own.
Right, without the other one.
No, because it's all set up, isn't it, for that blow? It's pretty much how I set it up. Sidious goes first, lands down that AoE, so he's putting exposed dots. Nihilus goes, reduces the turn meter. Kylo comes in, does his AoE, or comes in for a stun. And then I've got Maul that then does a daze while he does that before Kylo daze, and then General Kenobi then will do his kind of little thing, give retribution on, will clear any boss, and then and it's pretty much set from there. Kylo will keep spamming his AoE, or if I need to stun a character, I'll just stun him, and he does a lot of damage. No doubt Emperor Palpatine does damage, but I feel there's more durability in running a tanky squad than there is these days in running a character that isn't as tanky.
That's a good point.
Yep. All right. So let's go on to the next one. MatMan of Masters asking our thoughts on his team. He's running Nihilus, or this thoughts of this team: Nihilus, Sun Fact, Anakin, Bubba, and Kylo, with leader being I guess Anakin. Yeah, it looks like that's the leader. So the team is Nihilus, Sun Fact, Anakin leader, Bubba Fett, and then Kylo. What are our thoughts on that team?
Get Annie out of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Put Boba Fett in leadership on that weird team, because that team is like no synergy at all as far as team composition. It's great as far as like all the different unique abilities you're bringing in, but I definitely want to get more bang for your buck and put Boba in the lead. But that's just my 2 cents.
And he speeds up like Boba as well, doesn't he? I mean, he speeds up like Kylo with the debuffs. Like Kylo will get the debuffs on him. Boba gets more speed from the debuffs on the enemy when he's lead as well.
Okay. All right, and then let's get to Mike and Loki and Bella. You're so quiet. I have to try to try to get Bella some questions here.
Yeah, I haven't upgraded my empire and Sith completely, so I don't have the experience with them.
Gotcha.
So it's better for you to answer those questions.
I'm just saying, everybody loves you. We just want to hear your voice from time to time.
Oh, thanks.
All right. So I'll throw this next question out there. So question: I'm running a Zader team and looking to put another Zeta in my arena team. Who should I put it on, Dooku or Sidious? Mike or Loki? Your thoughts? Who they should do? Let's get Loki.
It's got to be Sidious, man. I'm a big fan of that guy now. He was took a while for him to come back up, but the team I run in arena right now is it's a Zeta Vader with Zeta Sidious, TIE Fighter pilot. Those three alone right there, you can lock down the opponent like first 3 turns right there. So I would definitely say Sidious. You're gonna land the dots quick, and the Zeta on Vader's gonna stick them. So, and then you're also gonna get a chance for the turn meter reduction, which is huge.
Okay.
The question goes on.
Oh, it does. Or Savage. Yeah, I just read that. Or any other teams not mentioned that would do well with Zader. Okay.
If it's Savage, then it's got to be a Zul lead. I mean, those two are just. That's what I run. Zul Savage, Sith
Nice.
Assassin, Dooku, and Nihilus. I don't even have a taunt.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do Dooku, then definitely under a Zul lead. But if you're doing the Zader lead, it's got to be Sidious for sure.
Okay. Next question from Lucas Colossal. What's the future of the meta? And also, what's the best counter to wigs? Smithie, Warrior. Anybody?
Counter to wigs is an auto taunt. Any auto taunt will just absorb wigs and it's wasted. So that's the counter I think everybody is using now is just an auto taunt, and don't worry about them doing a triple shot at the beginning. And then as far as the future of the meta, it's all the new characters coming out blended with all of the old characters that have been reworked. We're talking, you're gonna see more resistance teams, more first order teams, different hybrid teams, with Kylo Ren in it, and Sith teams and Empire teams, and Rebels not going anywhere. I mean, I'm still working on my Rogue One Rebels, and they're still around, especially since they should be farmable probably this month. That's going to change things as well, in the next 3-4 weeks. So if you look at the meta, it used to be there was 3 characters that dominated the meta, like 3 characters, and now it's like there's 10 characters that are evenly distributed amongst the top 10. They're all like evenly used. So it's just going to continue to evolve slightly as new characters come out, but it's going to be more balanced.
Okay. I think Finity's trying to redeem himself from the tax question, so I think he actually asked a legitimate question here. Now that T-Bill's stealth is being fixed, any team comp you can see with him as a lead being viable?
Well, it's not fixed as yet, is it? It's not till the Monday update.
Yeah, we're
let's assume that it is fixed.
Okay, we'll assume it's fixed, and the answer would probably be no. I don't think even with it being fixed, I still don't think he's viable in the arena. There's too much going on in the arena. Unless he has a rework, he's still way far behind on a character build. He's kind of like a phase 1 character, and we're probably on like phase 3, phase 4. Stealth can still be countered by B2. He's not going to really dodge. He hasn't got like a Maul where he can dodge. He's not hard hitting. So I can't personally see him being beaten, shall I say, a team on the same level as him. I just can't see it. There's too many Zetas running around, and he's going to need to have a buff Zeta, even though he's fixed now. I just can't see that the stealth mechanic would make a huge difference to it being fixed on him to what's behind him, because it would still run the same as what it did before. The only difference would be that Tebow now stays in stealth longer, but that can easily be changed by a B2 or anything like that. So I don't think it's really viable still.
All right. Next question for everybody is: what is the best Jedi squad, no Zeta, for Phase 1 of the AAT raid? Mike, any thoughts on this? When we get silence, I'm going to start calling you guys like we're in
That's fine.
class.
When I'm doing my Jedi, I'm normally lazy in P1.
Oh, God.
So it's an I'm a gunned in lead.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, I mean the game does half the work for you. He hits really hard. He's just use his basic on Grievous. His basic is awesome. I mean, I'm getting like 14k crits sort of thing with him. Hits like a truck.
Wasn't there a fix on him recently because he was counter-attacking more? I don't know if I dreamt it or I read it, that he was actually counter-attacking more than what he should. And it was now put to 35%, where before it was higher.
Oh.
I'm not sure if I've read it correctly. I think it was in kind of like the bugs, maybe the bugs bin. Not 100% sure.
So as far as Jedi on that round, I would say that I make it to Enrage every time. And so the problem now with me with Jedi isn't that I need more durable Jedi. I have that durability with a Zeta Barris. It's now a matter of how much I get in those 15 rounds. And so to answer that, I think an I'm a Gundai lead, so you get the counter, so you get max out the amount of extra attack the damages in those 15 rounds. I think you really probably would want Ayla and Kit, so you have an increased counter chance with the two of them, including their counter already. And Kit attacks sometimes up to 4 times in a row, so it's like, having him on there, and having Ayla would be great. So there's your 3 counters, and then I would have Barris for the durability and Jedi Knight Anakin. If you don't have Barris, but you have Ahsoka, she's going to do 20, 30,000, hits, and she could probably make up for your durability if you didn't have Barris. So I would do Jedi Knight Anakin and Ahsoka in the back 2, or I would do Barris and Jedi Knight Anakin. But Anakin's going to do a lot of damage as well, and potentially put that buff immunity onto tanks and stuff so they can't taunt, things like that. So, but it's just a matter of how much damage can you get in that short period of time.
Yeah, I like the Isla lead myself. That's the one I run with Anakin, Ahsoka, Barris, and then Kit Fisto as well. So
very nice. All right. Question from Freerunner09. The debate of debates. If I want to play a Sith team, should I say the Maul or Vader first? Let that digest in your heads. Anybody? Go for it.
Vader's more Empire than Sith. For his Zeta, I'd say. If it's Sith, then it's got it. For me personally, it's got to be Maul.
Yeah.
He's just bringing too much, and you've got the days. It's so much fun just hammering 5s into the ground, and he stands there while you hit him. No counters.
Hey guys, this is Will. This is Warrior. I got to bail. I got a date with my daughters to go sledding. So I'm going to bail on the show, but I appreciate you guys having me on today, and I look forward to next week.
All right, Warrior.
Yeah.
cool. Have fun.
Yep. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, Warrior.
All right. We have lost Warrior. And then there were 5. 4. How many of us left? I don't know.
We're good.
Oh.
Going back to the question, I'd say strictly for arena, probably go with the Zeta Maul. If you want everything else, so good tank character, and you want to buff his ship, and you got it, then go Zader Vader. So.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, and Vader is also good in raids.
Yeah. It's a great point, Bella.
I would probably only go Darth Maul if you've got the mods to back it. It's very mods dependent. If you haven't got the mods, then the team.
Good point.
Depending on your arena shard and who you're against, if everybody's running a Darth Maul, or there's people that say we put an example, and the question is who should I Zeta first, Maul or should I Zeta Vader? But I'm not the top of my arena, so I haven't got the best mods. Then I would say you stay clear of Maul, because the theory behind that is once people start turning to Maul, they're going to have the better mods still. That makes sense. So they're still going to go quicker, or they're going to have Sith Assassin. Good teams to beat it is you could use the same Sith team, but just put Rex as lead. They go first. There's going to be complications to it, but Maul's very mod dependent. You need to have some real good speed. You need to have something around the area of like 190 speed plus on Maul. Depending on your shard, of course, but if you're wanting to keep up with someone else's Maul, and if their Maul goes first and Daze is your team, it's pretty much going to be over in the first round if they've got Nihilus. If he dazes you straight away, it could be over. It's a game changer. That Daze there, you've got no Dispeller. That's where General Kenobi comes in. So Maul teams are very difficult to build. They're not easy. Where I think, in my opinion, Vader teams are more easier to build because you've got one fast character that you really need, and that's someone that you're going to be putting all your mods into, and that's going to be TIE Fighter Pilot. TIE Fighter Pilot's a beast. He's got foresight. He hits very hard, even against a Zeta Barris with all that heal. He will still hit for around 20k. So he's essentially doing what Maul can do against a Jedi. So I don't know. I guess that's my point on it. I don't think a Maul team's mod friendly. If you've got the mods, then yeah, you should go Maul. If you don't have the mods and your Maul's going to sit at 120 speed, 130 speed, then no, the team's not going to really work because you're still not going to be faster than a TIE Fighter pilot in a Zader team.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's the issue. They're just going to crumble you down. You need to make sure your team is outspeeding their team. And when I say outspeeding, you need to make sure your Maul's going first. You need to make sure like Darth Sidious is going first. You need to make sure Nihilus is going first. They're the three key characters, or any characters in that. You need to make sure they're going before a Zader team or any other team, so you can set it up so you can ability block. Because if their team goes first and TIE Fighter Pilot goes first for your Maul, and say he reduces the turn meter, Boba Fett's going to come in then. He's probably going to ability block your team. Then Vader's going to go. So it's all going to go downhill from there. You're going to be full of dots, and once you've got those dots on you, if you're not in stealth, you cannot dodge and execute. You cannot dodge a Colin Blade. So that's probably kind of like food for thought of where to go with it, because I would hate for somebody to build a Maul team because everyone else is building a Maul team, then realize, oh, I don't have the mods for 4 characters in that team to make them quick, and I'm actually now slower than if I went a Zeta team, because it's only one character in theory that you need to make you fastest, then the rest can be around a medium speed in a Zeta team, where in a Maul, you're going to need to have 3 to 4 characters that need to go bang straight away off the off point for it to work really well. Or Sith Assassin. You can get Sith Assassin, but she's not the easiest to gear. And you can set it up so it tweaks it, but it's still a difficult road. By the time you've done that, there could be a whole brand new meta out. You may want to go Rebels back again with. By the time it happens, realistically, Sharut's probably going to be farmable, so is Baze, Jenna. So then you may want to switch it up, go back to kind of like a Rebel team, but that's the only issue. It's pretty much, if you're going to go in for a team, you go all in, make it the best team you can, and then move on to another team if you need to, but don't do a team halfway, or you're going to always be chasing a meta.
No, that's a great point. All right, guys, keep the questions coming. And by questions, I mean Star Wars questions. Enrique asking questions if Ranger's a real playboy and if we've seen Logan. We're not answering those questions. Honestly, Enrique. Finn, will you get him? You're not trolling properly. I don't know if you have to go study or something, but I mean, come on, man. Do your job. Am I a real playboy? Wouldn't you like to know? Just say I'm smooth like malt liquor. All right. So I'm looking to see what the next questions are. I'm not really seeing any questions.
Actually, I got a question for Smithie. Actually,
is it about being a playboy? Let's just pass over that.
No, it's a Star Wars question.
Okay.
Actually, I'm just wondering if he's a little disappointed that Kanan and Ezra are the first Rebel Jedis to come out before Jedi Luke, obviously.
I don't think that's a question. I think that's
That's
how
a dig on
how
us
hurt
to
do you
bring up.
feel? Yeah,
Yeah, this is like to bring up pain and
how
agony for
hurt
me.
do you feel?
Yeah.
I guess as you can look at it, Rebels is pretty hot at the minute. The season's about to end, so it's probably a right time to bring out those kind of characters if you want to keep the hype. If you bring those sort of characters out in 3 months' time, then the hype may not be there. So I guess it's just a quick way to add them to the game before the season's over because anything could happen. We don't know what's going to happen in the season. Anything could change. So if you bring them out as a squad as they are, then they're in the game. It's done. You don't need to go back and look at them again. But Jedi Luke, I'd rather them get it right.
Every time.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully we're talking. Hopefully he's going to be a Yoda event because I'd be disappointed if I've got to pay for Luke. I would be disappointed if I had to shell out loads of money for a Jedi Luke when he's the icon. He's the phenom, he's the Star Wars. Yeah, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Loki. I can't go with one show with Smithie where this doesn't come brought up, and then we relive agony. Yeah,
He's had a
thanks.
rough morning, so.
I mean, if you want, I can give you a bat. You can just hit us over the head with it, instead of asking that question next time. Oh Lord. All right. Next question. So Nicole Bolus is asking, Mall teams are supposed to move first. So what's the benefit of turn meter boost in the beginning? Well, I should preface since he said something before that. A lot of people are fans of SA, and then he says small teams are supposed to move first. So what's the benefit of turn meter boost in the beginning?
Well, Sith Assassin, how it works pretty much is that she's going to provide. I don't know if she is broken at the moment, but she's supposed to provide 36% turn meter on her first turn. The issue that you've got with it is, I believe a lot are saying that she's providing more, so it's making your team go into an overdrive and just randomly choosing a Sith to go first. Ideally, you have to kind of do the speeds as you would under a Maul lead, with the turn meter at the beginning determines the opening speed, where the 36% is slightly different because you've got 3 turns that it builds up the kind of like turn meter, which you don't see to the human eye. But pretty much as a calculation where you'd have to have your Nihilus at probably around about 138 speed, around about that mark, depending on your mods, you'd have Sith Assassin go first. She gives everyone turn meter. You want it so it's kind of like you have one character that will be 100% or over, then you have the rest of the characters below 100% so you can get that turn order in. There's a calculation to it, but it's very difficult to explain. I remember trying to explain in one of my videos about the kind of like 1.25 times the opening turn meter, and everyone's like, no, it's 1.20, it's 1.20, and I'm like, no, it's 1.25 because you've already got 20% filled, so you're only filling 80% turn meter. Then you would divide that by the 800, blah blah blah, and it'd give you times your speed by 1.25. But everyone was like, no, it's 1.20, it's 1.20, and yeah, but it is actually 1.25. You times it by. So me giving a good calculation of speeds, giving decimals, it probably wouldn't go down very well in a video because it is very hard to explain, let alone understand it. There will be people out there that are like, yeah, I get that because I understand the kind of like calculations and the maths behind it, but there's going to be a lot like, what kind of thing. So it'd be very difficult.
And imagine putting it on 4 times the speed then.
I know, man. What if you were eating sugar at the same moment that was happening?
Yeah.
Or in all our cases, drinking large quantities of coffee. You'd be
I
like,
think-
oh my
I think
God,
we'd
what
be-
is happening?
We'd be turning back time.
Yeah. Do an old Superman trick.
I think going back to Smithie's comment about the mod thing too. Maybe the Sith Assassin can compensate for the secondary speed mods or something, so he can make the whole team go first.
Yeah, that's correct.
I elect just not to use it in the first turn. I wait and boost on the second time round, but that's because I want to put the dots on everyone before Nihilus gets to go.
Dots.
The trick is to using her, and this is the real tactical way, is that you have Sith Assassin go first, then it has to be followed by Darth Maul to put that base. Rex will be destroyed. Rex will be completely hurt. So if a Rex team was attacking you, and you've got Sith Assassin going first, and you've worked out the calculation, so Darth Maul is the second character to go. He's going to daze and potentially daze the entire team, or 4 out of 5. As long as Rex is dazed, Nihilus is going to come in and say, "Give me your soul is mine," and just pretty much increase that.
How does that go? How does
Well,
Nihilus sound?
do you know what? Do you know, like, I actually sit there with and I make sound effects and stuff because I don't have the music on. Yeah. Well, every time I use the Nihilus, do you remember Mortal Kombat where he goes,
"Get over
your
here.
soul"? Do you know in Mortal Kombat where he goes, "Your soul is mine"? Pretty much I do that reaction. I'm like, "Your soul is mine." No, as it flows into it.
I do the Grinch. That'll be mine.
Oh my god.
Going back to the question, if you have Darth Maul lay the days down, then you've got Darth Nihilus following, increasing the cooldowns. Pretty much that Rex is going to be sitting there for 2 turns. Your team should, in theory, destroy that team before the second turn because they can't get no tenacity up. They cannot get any turn meter. So they're pretty much sitting ducks, and they will sit there while your team on defense goes riot on them. And depending who else you've got in the team, you know, if you've got it's crazy. It's crazy to face. You know, you have to be. Yeah, there's not really a super way of beating it. It's just about if you have a Zor lead, you could potentially get away with it, but with a Rex lead, no, it's not going to work because Rex is going to not get turn meter, and depending on how fast your team is, if you have them at an average speed, then it's going to take a good while. You're probably looking at those 2 turns. The other team's pretty much going to go 3 turns before you even get tenacity up, and that's if Rex is still alive.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Good stuff. All right, next question is kind of a 2-questioner thing here, but Harry Tasker wants to know. So these are 2 questions. What is the best non-Zeta team to farm from 0 to hero, and what is the best team that would not be speed dependent?
Rex.
Okay.
Rex.
Yeah.
Or a good counter.
Counter team.
Yeah.
Well, let's theorycraft here. What do we think? Like, if we were forming a 5-man team based off these parameters, who would we go with?
Without
Rex.
the Zeta, probably
So
Rex.
not
Zeta,
Zeta, non-Zeta, and speed dependent. Those 2 things from
Rex.
0 to hero. Rex, we know, but who else?
Probably
You'd have Boba Fett. Boba Fett, so you'd go Rex, Boba Fett, Emperor Palpatine, maybe Darth Nihilus, and a taunting tank, hopefully, that you can get your hands on. An auto taunter, because it's going to really save your bacon. If not, then against teams that are really fast and can lash out really quickly, you're going to be really relying on them critting your team, which could really hurt some of your characters.
Okay, anybody else?
I'm just wondering about a beefed up Ima with a Kenobi, an Isla, a Fives, and maybe a Sunfac. I mean that's going to be very tanky and just constantly hitting back and dispelling.
Darth Maul will be like, "Your soul is mine, Jedi."
Look, it can only be one person or the other that you're using that voice for. It can't be Maul and Nihilus, man.
Well, I changed it slightly.
I mean, Darth Maul is more quiet.
Okay, it'll be like Darth Maul will be like, "At last we have revenge. At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will kill them all."
If the trace is correct, I will find them quickly, Master. Okay, keep your questions coming in, guys. I'm looking for the next one. The next question. Not seeing the next question. Filler, somebody filler. God in heaven, somebody do a filler.
Anyway, we can just talk about something else if you want.
Yeah, Bella, talk about something. Somebody, God, please.
Was you going to say something, Luke?
Me?
No, I was going to say, you mentioned the Rebels series is going to come to an end, but you think Old Ben's going to get a rework, especially being in that trailer?
That's a good question. I don't think so. Maybe he will. I'm still looking forward to that fight. God, am I looking forward to that fight.
What would you do if they pulled lightsabers out and say, "Let's be friends now," and just start talking and put the lightsabers away?
Yeah, that's not happening. So I don't even have to ponder that point.
I'm just saying, it could do.
I'm hoping the meta's going to move away from all the swooshing. I mean, everyone's going so fast at the moment because you have to, because you're only landing 1 in 4 blows
Speed
because
kills.
of all the dodging that's going on. Please, God, no, not an old Obi dodge.
So do you guys think the Phoenix Rebels are going to be anti-Sith then?
Though they already kind of are. I mean, in the show, their whole, I mean, the one character that's not being introduced with that is Ahsoka as Fulcrum to add to that. But the, they did have a lot of fights and their progression with a lot of the Inquisitors, and Darth Vader. So, I mean, I could see them having some kind of counter Sith abilities. But that would be more for Kaylin and Ezra if they did it, because the other characters are more of your soldiery type piloty type leader type characters. They don't really deal with the Force.
Yeah, they'll probably. What I heard, I don't know how correct it is, but with Hera leader, all the uniques between them get shared, so they all get each other's uniques. I don't know how true that is. That's what I heard. Like everyone was saying online chat, and I think I've seen it on the forums that they're saying that it was confirmed in a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't. Something that Jesse mentioned in the podcast or something. But I think it was on Shattered Order actually. I seen it on Reddit as well again last night, and it was something that's saying that with Hera lead, all the uniques of each of us get shared as long as she's leader. So what does Chopper have? He has a dodge unique or something, but they all get it or something. So I don't know how that's going to work, because if one of them's got, say, they get now 30% accuracy, okay, and one of their uniques is 30% accuracy, like Sabine's, then that's going to kill a Maul Zeta, wouldn't it? It's going to destroy it if you've got someone that's got accuracy. They're not really going to dodge, or there's something that's going to be an anti-mechanic to 2 or 3 teams. Then it's going to make that one team the team to beat all these teams, kind of thing. I think they'll be good, really good. Yeah, but I think they'll be really expensive too.
Yes.
That's why. So the kind of like realism of seeing them in the arena, all 5 of them, all geared anytime soon, is unless you're on a shard where someone goes out and buys characters. We've just had the Nihilus released. There's one person on my shard that 7-starred him. Some of us 4-starred him.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't see them same guys going out and buying 5 characters or 6 characters or whatever they're releasing, and it doesn't matter how OP they are. They didn't get Sharut, they didn't get Baze. Well, actually, they got Baze from the shipments, but they didn't get them from the packs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I would like to think they wouldn't, because I wouldn't have to face them. But I'm sure I could conjure up a team to beat it, because the AI defense is random. It just hits random people instead of actually hitting someone that's got low health.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have, say, my Sidious at half health, and they'll decide to hit Kylo Ren. I'm like, carry on. And Kylo's like, Kylo Ren, and he's just beefing up to go Super Saiyan on them, So I'm just like, yeah, please do, please attack him. Yeah. So yeah, I think if they've got any mechanic built in that's going to affect the Maul lead, then I think it will stomp the Maul lead. But the viability of someone having them and having all 5 of them is a different story. If we're talking that they're costing $400 per character, I just can't see it. That's literally money for somebody that has that money, that can splash out money like that every month. We'll see on Maul and chromiums, of course, because people are like, yeah, I'm diving in for that. I'm going for the chromiums because it's 5-6 characters. But there will only be a select few, if they are that price, that would probably pick them up, because it's down to affordability,
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. It's about, if people had the money, I'm sure people would spend it. Then there's some that have the money, are just like, no, I'm not spending it. But it comes down to that part, that it's 5-6 characters is probably going to be out of range for a lot until they're in the chromiums, where chromiums, it's definitely worth it. You're getting loads of shards, you're getting a choice of the 6 characters in there, and you're going to have the Rogue One in there. By that time, you'll probably have Director Krennic and all that. You'll have Nihilus in there, most likely. So it'll be a good little kind of way to to get some real good characters. But
Yeah,
off the bat,
there's too many characters that you can't finish at the moment.
Yeah.
Even
Like, there's an
Empire
event,
without
isn't there?
spending.
mods and
I'm
lions
a little
and
bit
tigers
disappointed
and
about
bears,
that
oh
event.
my.
You know, the event they're bringing out where you're going to need to have 5 characters. It means you're going to have to gear 5 of them. And do their levels up. I don't know to what level to get the next part.
Sounds like another case for MasterCard and Pad1 Visa.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question. Do we think, since we're talking about the Rebels characters, and this is from Adam Filios, do you think that the Phoenix Squadron will mix and match with other Rebel or even Jedi teams? I would think so, yeah, but I don't know how well. I don't think it's. It depends on their other abilities, because this. Yeah, I think Smithie brought up that they're going to be really great together, but I don't know until we see their abilities how well that'll work with like a Jedi team or other Rebels teams. Anybody's got thoughts on that?
I thought they are independent, but well, we'll have to wait. Maybe I don't know.
I think on their own, I think they'll be crap. In all honesty, I think it'll be one of those. It'll be one of those characters that you have to have them in a squad of 5, or at least a squad of 4. If it is true that Hera is going to be sharing the abilities, then there would be no reason for you whatsoever to put them in another squad. If they're going to be getting 4 or 5 abilities each from each character, then you don't want to be running them on their own. That means they're not going to be viable on their own because they'll be only having their own unique instead of having 5. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to be as powered. I think what will make them overpowered is a team, and that will what runs them. You know, that's what the Rebel show is based on, isn't it? And that's pretty much, you know, if you look at the original Star Wars, Han Solo can hold his own, you know, and pretty well. You've got Luke holds his own, Leia holds his own. They do not need to be in a team to work. But Rebels and how the Rebels episode is, it's about family and teamwork. And as a squad, they are really strong and they can take on whatever, but individually they get captured, or you know what I mean if you've seen the episode. They work best as a squad because they look out for each other. And I think, and what I'm thinking and hoping is that's how their synergy will be built, is as a squad, as a family, that you run them as a team, and exactly how the Rebel show is.
Yeah,
they're a team, aren't they?
Yeah,
when Ezra goes off and he gets captured or something, he goes off on his own, or something bad happens. Same as any other character, when they start to go rogue, bad stuff happens to them.
Yep, that's a good point.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
All right, this is Vlad. Why are you doing this to me? All right, here's the next question. I know this will be a while, but who do you think will be the next Legends character they release? Let's go to Mike. We haven't heard from Mike in a while. Who do you think will be the next Legends character?
Okay.
Do you know Legends, Mike?
No.
Okay.
There we go.
I chose poorly. Okay.
Caught in the headlights.
Loki, are you familiar with the Legends characters?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say Revan, probably.
Oh God, that would be so pimp. No. That's my favorite, is Revan. I'd love to see Revan. Will they release him? I don't know, but I would sure love it. I already know Smithie's answer. So Bella, do you have anybody from the Legends books or any characters that you think that they will release next?
No.
Okay.
What's my answer? What was my answer?
There was another
Luke. You're gonna bring up Luke.
Luke's not Legend.
I know, but you were gonna try to tie him in there somehow.
No. I actually had a good answer, but let Bella finish.
I think Jedi Luke, we have to wait for another year or so. They want to keep us playing.
And I'm depressed.
Someone get this girl out of this chat.
Yeah.
She's bringing reality to gaming.
But there's another question on Thrawn. That would be really cool if they bring him out.
Yeah, Thrawn would be a great Empire character.
And we could have a new capital ship then with him.
That's a good
like
point.
A dark side ship.
Yes, very nice. See, I like that. What about you, Smithie? Since it's not Luke, was there a legend character that you're,
Well, the legends that I'm aware of, that the only ones that are allowed to use fluently without, diving into too much, I think it's just the Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd love to see Starkiller.
Right.
He would. absolutely be awesome. But would it ever happen? Probably not, because just the concept of the character was
Yeah.
overpowered for a video game, and I think maybe some parts of somewhere would probably want to forget about how overpowered he was in the game, and he was actually canon at one point.
Hmm.
um,
Another
I'd
Legends
probably
character is Mara Jade. That would be
never
an.
happen. That's
Well, I'm just saying it would be kind of
yeah,
cool. What if they
it
release?
would.
What if they release Luke and Mara at the same time?
Wasn't there a dark side Luke too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was.
yeah.
But
I think with the problem with Mara Jade and all that is in the concept of when it comes to Legends. I think they're pretty much in the eyes of anybody as deleted characters.
hmm
Like when it comes to kind of like a business, I think they're down as it's already been rewritten. Episode 7 has been rewritten. There's no Mara Jade unless they make it canon, and I don't think we'll see a Mara Jade at all in this game or a Kyle Katarn. And I love those characters. I remember
hmm
from the old video games that they had, and it was the. Do you
Corin
remember
Horn.
Masters of the Terras Kazi or something? I don't even know how to say it. But she was pretty much one of the main villains in that.
Hmm.
This was like when she was the Emperor's hand. And then I played all the Jedi Academies, Dark Forces, stuff like that with
Hmm.
Kyle Katarn. And but yeah, realistically, I don't think they'll ever make their way into this game because they were just they're just legends, and they're as far as legends as same as Starkiller. They're far where Starkiller you could potentially get a little bit away because it was before episode like three, episode 4, 5, 6, but at the same time they've rewritten it with Rogue One.
Hmm.
So it's very, very unlikely that anybody would ever authorize that. But I'd say Knights of the Old Republic is probably the best bet because it's
Yeah, and there's a
the
lot of
furthest
really
away
good
from canon.
characters. Yeah, there's a lot of rich characters that they could pull from there.
Yeah, so we'll probably see Treya. We'll probably see some Jedi's.
Satil
Um,
Shan, people like that. The Mandalore.
yeah,
They would
yeah,
be
we'll
pretty
probably
cool.
see more of them before we see Revan. Revan will probably be one of the last
I
kind of
know.
characters
I know.
ever.
I wonder if we'll see anyone come out that'll make the Night Sisters kind of useful.
Well, thank God Grande's not here to
Mother
answer that.
Talzin.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking the
Yeah, I knew
same.
I was safe saying it.
No, you're
We
not.
all
I'm going to
skated.
kill you.
Yeah, you got Mother Talzin, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's just yeah, they seem to be about the only squad which hasn't had anything.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, they'll
yeah.
probably rework them. Probably make Ugnaught part of their faction, so you have to play all those kind of characters.
Hmm.
All right. So Finity's trying again. He wants to know after this month when Chopper is when Chopper's the start of the month. Where do you see Chopper going after this month? Do you see him going play to play, or Chromium, or free to play? I don't know where he's gonna go.
He could be farmable. I'd say he'd be like K2SO. He'll move into
Yeah,
Android
Shard
again.
Shot probably.
Android, Geller, never mind. But,
Ah,
but
Would
I reckon, yeah, he'll if he's a daily character, he's probably going to be more obtainable than the others because it gives
yeah.
you an enrichment to really get the other characters. If they're just like here, have 5 characters that are going to make a team. To me, business logic behind that is it's either you buy it or you won't. You wouldn't buy one without the rest of them. They're kind of like a set
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. But I reckon they'll probably give Chopper away so it entices you to build the rest of the team. That's just my opinion. I don't know if it would happen, but that's probably how I would do it if I was a business plan. Is what they're doing already is giving everyone 3-star versions,
Mm.
and then pretty much go from there so you can upgrade it easier. It entices you to upgrade it. You get to play with them, get your feel with them. Where previously, if they just put them in packs, then people would ignore it because they don't really have that super knowledge on this. Like, oh yeah, he might be okay. It's the same as Rex. Everyone can remember Rex, and not everyone brought Rex, and everyone's like months later, oh, I wish I brought Rex when he was in the Aerodiums. I wish I did, So now they're giving you that demo where you get to play with them. You've got your version, and then if you spend far more, then it's going to be something that you want instead of doing up a character and then being purely disappointed. Like, oh, he doesn't work now.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Do you reckon This is from Enigma. Do you reckon we would eventually get more separatist characters like B1 and Droidica?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope so.
Eventually. Um,
Anyone else got any thoughts on that? Everyone's quiet. They're just.
I know.
I'm not very good with droids. I've got to be honest. Droidica. When I actually worked out who Droidica was, would seem to be like a really good introduction just to make the droids viable again. I mean, I'm seeing lots and lots of chat up, considering that droids are kind of like the free-to-play characters. They're being let down at the moment.
I'd be happy with that.
Nothing if they should Zeta the droids.
Yeah, I guess the way I've always looked at it, and there's going to be a lot of disagreement instantly on that, is a lot want droids to be viable again, but at the same time, they're not actually a team, so why should they have synergy because they're a droid? And that's just really my personal kind of like opinion and thought on it is what makes them that they should have synergy because they're a droid, and then it would be the same argument, why doesn't every human in the game have synergy because they're human? They're not part of the same faction. So why should they have synergy like rebels? Why should they have synergy like Sith? You know, they've got nothing in common, just their parts that are in them.
But we're all human. We should
Lobot. Lobot is the answer.
Make Assassin's Day if he heard that. He'd be like, that's right, rain some blood on some fools. Get the droids going with the triple mollywop. Alright, Enrique has poor Enrique. How do you beat this team? Zal, Emperor Palpatine, General Kenobi, Chirrut, and Baze.
Nihilus. We just run
I'm actually
Sith and-
facing them right now, actually, that same team. So you said Maul, General Kenobi, Baze, and Nihilus, is that?
No, Zal with Emperor Palpatine, General Kenobi, and then Chirrut and Baze.
Yeah, I'm just facing
B2
them
would
right
be
now,
a good
except with
counter
Nihilus.
to that with Rex. I think those two would help you. I mean, they're talking about it in chat, but they're all gaming it in there with them. But anybody have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree on Rex and B2. I'd probably do Kylo Ren maybe as well.
Kylo Ren's a beast.
Yeah, I like the
Sidious
healing
as well.
immunity.
Healing immunity.
Healing immunity is gonna break down that team.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Sure
point.
is.
All right.
Oh yeah. Let's now put some D's.
Not seeing any more questions. I'm looking. a lot of good points being made in the chat, which is awesome to see you guys chatting it up, but not seeing any more questions. Could be a good point to stop here maybe then.
Yeah.
Smithie?
Good with that, yes.
Okay. So we can end it here. I'll let you do the honor, Smithie. This is your show, not mine.
Yeah, man. Okay. So thank you very much for everyone coming today, and do apologise that we've had some big technical difficulties. I'm going to try and work on that so it doesn't happen next week or happen in the future. Super hard to kind of do something when your laptop feels like a volcano and everything's just slowing down. So we maybe have to make some arrangement changes on the ways that we do things in the future. But I want to start off with a big, massive thank you to Ranger for taking this over and making this possible today. Because without Ranger, this would not have been possible. We wouldn't have been able to stream. We wouldn't have been able to do it. Also, a big thank you to Ranger, and everyone should clap their hands.
Thank you. You can give money to the Ranger Likes Money Foundation. I'll give you the link here in a moment.
Thank you. So where can we find you, Ranger? So who are you? What do you do? Where is Grande Patron? Where is the other half of the reality Skewed gamers?
Well, the Beavis and Butthead have been sick this week, and by Beavis and Butthead I mean the beardless one, Grande Patroni, and Finity, who is here. I think Finity's feeling better. They both somehow got sick at the same time. which I think they were sharing boogers or something. I don't know what they're doing, but
Playing Kiss Chase.
yeah, I mean, but we are our RSG, the Reality Skewed Gamers. You can see us here on the channel here, obviously. We stream a lot. We stream usually Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Sundays being the ship show. Wednesdays the main stream, which is what Smithie is on all the time, where we just kind of break down the news. And we usually get crammed with a bunch of news every Wednesday. It's crazy. And then Saturdays we kind of leave it open to looking at squads, looking at people's teams comps, just kind of having a good old time on Saturday. Saturday is more of a laid back show where we just try to, answer questions for people. And then Sunday is the Mage Duckies Ship Spectacular show where we do nothing but talk about ship PvP. And you can check all that stuff on our channel on Reality Skewed Gamers, which is a channel if you're looking at us right now we're on, and give us a thumbs up for all this stuff, and subscribe. Yeah, we love subscriptions. And we also have our own Discord. You can come in there and you can we have a ton of talented people in there that will answer your questions and help you out with any questions you have. I think that about covers it. We have Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Yeah.
So, thank you very much for that, Ranger. So, Mike, what are you up to these days? Where can we find you?
I've been really busy. I actually took leadership of my guild, of our guild, this week. So I've been kind of busy on that side of things. But I run a channel, Mike Hunt SWGOH. It's more of a vlog than helping, but yeah, I have fun. I theory craft in Galactic War. I'm fortunate to be on a very interesting shard on my PvP and also my ships as well. So it's me just recording that and lots of ranting, raving, hair pulling when I lose.
Cool. Good. And thanks for coming on again, buddy.
Thank you for having me. Love it.
Yeah, no problem. And we got Sir Loki. Sir Loki, you do a bit of YouTubing yourself, doing a lot of videos. You've done work for my channel, getting me some great teams and combinations together to show off on my channel. But did you want to let everybody know about yourself, where to find you, and what you currently do?
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. I just started doing it because I love the community like everybody else, and I want to give back where I can. So I just have a little YouTube channel. It's Sir Loki. A lot of arena battles and trying to put up some new teams in the heroic tank for people to check out, and then we can tweak them together and share our theory crafts on how to make them better. But I'm mostly on the line chat. DJ Sir Loki is my name on there. You can hit me up and we can chat all the time. So thank you again.
Fantastic. Bella, what have you been up to lately, Bella?
Yeah, I actually was busy with real life this week. And each evening I've been waiting for the new update, just like all of us, getting excited, and then it was delayed another day. But finally we have it, and that was really great. I haven't worked on my own channel so far, but I'm trying to do that. So it won't be there in a week or two. I still need to find out how to do all this stuff. And in the meantime, I'm just enjoying to play the game and be a guest on your show.
Fantastic.
Bella rocks.
She does. And also as well, I want to put a big thank you out to Warrior for coming on every single week, even if he's at work, even if he's on holiday. Warrior comes on and gives his input. So a big thank you to Warrior, and make sure that you do check out his channel. And I think that's it for today, guys. So thank you very much for joining us today. I'm the Smithie D, and we did Jedi Academy today. May the Force be with you always.